So I don't have any music playing. If you have a playlist that you would like to play, you guys are muted, so feel free to play whatever floats your boat. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. My name is Megan. Thank you for joining this class. This is my first virtual class, so bear with me. There's also a cat that might be jumping in and joining our class. So first of all, take this yoga class at your own pace. I'm just here to guide a flow and some poses. I'll offer some modifications, but know that you can rest at any point that you need throughout the class. So let's go ahead and start in a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting on my block, cross-legged, because that feels good for my hips and knees, but you are welcome to sit in any comfortable way that feels good for you. So we'll go ahead and close the eyes down. And we're just going to spend a couple moments here catching our breath and connecting with it and allowing our minds to slow down. So we'll start off by just doing a full body scan. So notice if you're holding any tension anywhere. A lot of times it can be held either in the jaw or the face. So allow those muscles to relax. And then as you work your way down, check in with the shoulders. You're welcome to hug them up towards the ears, maybe on an inhale. And as you exhale, let them melt down your back away from the ears. So feel soft in the belly, but allow the spine to lengthen up towards the ceiling. So you're sitting up nice and tall and the heart is open. And as we sit here, go ahead and take nice deep breaths in. So if you can take a long inhale for a count of 4 through the nose. And then a big long exhale out through the mouth. And go ahead and do that about 2 or 3 more times. As we begin to slow and control our breath down, we are also beginning to control and slow down our thoughts and our mind so we can stay really present and focused during the practice. And let's take one more big full inhale through the nose. And long full exhale out through the mouth. Go ahead and gently open the eyes up if they're closed. If you're sitting on a block or a bolster, go ahead and remove that. We're going to do some gentle twists, some seated twists. So let the right hand come down on the mat. We're going to inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Reach through the left fingertips, and as you exhale, reach this left hand over towards your right. Careful that the shoulder isn't crunching up towards the ear, so relax that there and feel a nice side body stretch through the ribs and really reach through those left fingertips. Awesome. As you exhale, come back through center and then bring this left hand rested on the mat, and we will inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, spread the fingertips. And then exhale, reach over towards your left. Spread through these right fingertips. You can either bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, keep it straight ahead, or you can look down at the floor. Next, exhale, come back through center. Take it to the other side again. Inhale, reach that left arm up. So we're moving with breath. And then as you exhale, reach over towards your right. And then from here, fold the upper body over the right thigh to get a different sort of stretch through the back. And let the head hang heavy here. Exhale, come back up through center and do that on the other side. Inhale, right arm reaching up. Exhale, reach over towards the left. And then gently let that upper body fold over this left thigh. Awesome. Exhale, come right back towards center. And let's hug the shoulders up towards the ears. And then roll them down the back. And go ahead and interlace the fingertips. And let's take a nice inhale. Press the palms up towards the ceiling. Yeah. Get a little shake in there. Okay, inhale, press the palms up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, tuck the chin towards chest and press the palms forward. And you should have a nice curl in the spine. Let the head hang heavy. And then inhale, press the palms back up towards the ceiling. Take a nice breath in. And then again, exhale, hug the belly button in towards the spine. Let go of any tension in the head and neck. Press the palms forward. And inhale, palms press up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your elbows and let the palms come to the base of the skull. Yeah. And so from here, depending how the neck is feeling, you can start lifting the chin a bit up towards the ceiling to get a nice opening through the throat. And for a stretch through the pec muscles, you can start reaching your elbows behind you a bit. All right, exhale, come back towards center, release the hands, and let's come into child's pose. So child's pose can have many variations. You can keep the knees together or bring the knees to the edges of your mat. Flip onto the tops of your feet. We want to work towards our big toes touching. Awesome, so in child's pose, we want our forehead to be either down on the mat or on a block, so that way it's connected to something. If you don't have a block and the forehead's not touching, do arm over arm and your forehead can rest on the forearms. So in child's pose, we want to be relaxed through the hips, sending our hips back towards our heels. And the fingertips are spread nice and wide, reaching towards the front edge of the mat. And as you're here, you're breathing. So on an inhale, see where you can lengthen out. Maybe the fingertips reach forward a bit more. And then on an exhale, gently press into the finger pads and see if you can shift the hips just a bit closer towards the heels. Take 3 breaths in your child's pose. And know that this is a pose that you can always come back to at any point throughout the practice. And after your 3rd breath in child's pose, come up towards sitting so the hips are sitting back on the heels, and we'll just come into hero's pose just for a breath or 2. So the hips sit back on the heels, the spine is nice and long, reaching up towards the ceiling, shoulders nice and relaxed, the hands can rest gently on the thighs. And take 2 deep breaths here. Lovely. So after that exhale, let's go ahead and we'll come into downward facing dog. So for that, we want to reach our fingertips towards the front edge of the mat. Spread your fingertips nice and wide, and they should be shoulder width distance apart. You want to tuck your toes under the hips. The feet are about hips width distance apart. Bend your knees, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. We're really pressing through our finger pads, so we're engaging through the arms, and we're sending our chest back towards our thighs, and the head hangs nice and heavy. So a variation for downward facing dog would be dolphin pose. If downward facing dog isn't feeling good, drop the forearms to the ground for dolphin. So from downward facing dog, you can walk your dog out. You get a nice bend in one knee as you straighten the other. Maybe you lift up high on the tippy toes, have a nice big bend in the knees. Tailbone lifts a bit higher towards the ceiling. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And nice exhale out. We're going to step our right foot forward between our two hands. So either step or kind of slide it forward. We'll come into a high lunge. So the foot is between the two hands. You're welcome to drop the back knee here. If you're leaving it lifted, lift this back thigh up towards the ceiling so the back leg is really strong and the right knee is right over the right ankle. We're going to leave this left hand down and twist your right arm up towards the ceiling for a twist. And go ahead and exhale, bring that right arm back down to the floor. And come onto the shoelaces of the back foot and bring both hands to the top of the right knee. So you should feel a nice stretch through this, the left hip flexors. Gently go ahead and transition into a runner stretch. So you'll bend this back knee, the hip is right over the left knee, and you will straighten the front leg and the right toes will flex towards the face. And you should be feeling a stretch through the right hamstring. We'll come into a forward fold at the top of our mat. So when you feel satisfied in the runner stretch, bring the right foot down to the ground, tuck the back toes under, and step this left foot up to meet the right foot at the top of the mat for a forward fold. So in a forward fold, your feet should be about 2 fist width distance apart. Have a nice bend in the knees and just let the upper body fold forward. The hands can be on the floor. You can grab opposite elbows. Whatever feels good. Bring the hands to the mat and we'll step back to our downward facing dog. We'll step the left foot forward between the two hands. Option to drop the back knee or leave it lifted. Make sure the left toes are facing directly forward and the left knee is right over the left ankle. Right hand stays down, hug the belly button in towards the spine and reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the left hand back down to the ground. Drop this back knee, untuck the toes. And you're kind of melting into the hips here so the hands can stay on the ground for more support. Or if you feel okay, you can bring them to the top of the left knee. Bring the hands to the mat and let's come back into that runner stretch. So we're straightening through our front leg. Flexing the left toes towards your face for a nice stretch in the back of the left leg. And we'll go ahead and come into another forward fold at the top of our mat. So step that right foot forward. Nice soft bend in the knees. Let the upper body hang nice and heavy. Relax through the head and neck. And we'll take a couple deep breaths in our forward fold. As you exhale, bring the fingertips down towards the mat. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift. So as you breathe in, bring the fingertips to the shins. And you're coming into a halfway lift, so the belly button squeezes in towards the spine, and the heart and top of the head is reaching forward. Soft bend through the knees. And as you exhale, fold forward. And again, breathe in, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. And one more time, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bring the hands to the mat and step the left foot back. Coming back into that high runner's lunge. Awesome. We're going to come up to crescent lunge. So all 10 toes should be facing forward. The right knee is right over the right ankle. And the legs are really strong in this pose. And go ahead and sweep the arms up. So if this doesn't feel okay, you can drop the back knee. You can stay here, bring your hands to heart center. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, take a twist right if you'd like. So we're relaxing through the shoulders, bringing the gaze almost to our right shoulder and getting a nice twist through the ribs. And on your next exhale, let's come into warrior two. So you will spin the back foot down. So the back foot is almost parallel with the back edge of the mat. And we've got a nice bend in our front knee and the right toes are facing directly forward. Nice, you guys look good. Okay. So our shoulders are right over the hips, the fingertips are spread nice and wide, and our gaze is over the front middle finger. Let's inhale, press into our feet, straighten the front leg, and bring the fingertips to touch overhead. And then as you exhale, sink back down into your warrior two. So this is like a nice dance with the breath. Inhale, press into the feet, straighten the front leg, fingertips to touch overhead. Exhale, warrior two. And one more time. Inhale, press through the feet, straighten the leg, fingertips to touch. And exhale, warrior two. Careful with the front knee. We don't want our front knee to be falling in towards the midline. So work the knee towards the right pinky side of the foot to protect the knee. And let's inhale, flip the front palm, and we will revolve our warrior. So this left hand is just tracing its way down the back leg. Right fingertips reach up, a nice side body stretch through the right side. And as you exhale, float into a side angle. So bring this right elbow to the top of the right thigh. Roll the right ribs underneath the left and reach the left arms up towards the ceiling. When you're in this pose, careful to not put too much weight in this right elbow. So we don't want to be just hanging out here. So we're using a lot of core here, and the left fingertips are keeping our upper body nice and light. Press through the feet, come on back to your warrior two. Let's straighten our front leg and inhale, revolve. And we'll work our way into a triangle pose. So for triangle pose, we want both legs working towards straight. The right fingertips will reach as far forward as they can go. And the right arm will either come to a block or just rest on the right shin. And the left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. And nice steady breath here. This is great for the hips, and we're twisting these right ribs right underneath the left, either gazing up at the ceiling or down to the floor. Awesome. Go ahead and exhale, and let's bring both hands down to the inside of the right foot and come onto the ball of the back foot and walk this right foot out towards the right edge of your mat. We'll come into a deepest lunge. So check to make sure the right ankle is right underneath the right knee. Go ahead, drop this back knee if you'd like, and untuck the toes. You want to work on hugging your the right knee into the right shoulder. And if you've got a block, feel free to use that for a deeper stretch. You can bring your forearms down to the block. If you're holding any tension in the head or neck, go ahead and let that go. If you'd like another variation of this pose, you can come back onto your hands. Turn this right toe out to the right foot out to 2 o'clock. And come onto the pinky edge side of the foot so you can see the sole of your right foot, and the right hand can just rest gently on the inner thigh. So you should feel a nice stretch in the right glute. And then from here, you can kind of gaze over your right shoulder. And then you have the option to bend the back knee, having the right hand reach for the left ankle. Exhale, let that go. Come back to the deepest lunge. And walk this right foot between the 2 hands. And we'll press our way back to downward facing dog. In your down dog, take 3 breaths. Keep pressing the chest back towards your thighs. Let the head and neck go. Shake your head yes. Shake it no. And then shake it yes again. So we'll step the left foot forward between the 2 hands. We'll work our way up to crescent lunge. All 10 toes facing forward. The left knee right over the left ankle. Option to drop the back knee if you'd like. And if you feel steady, go ahead and reach the arms up to the ceiling. Option is stay here or bring hands together at heart center. And on your next exhale, a gentle twist over towards the left. And as you exhale, spin your way into warrior 2. So anchor down that back foot. We're going to open up our arms to the front and back edge of the mat. Open the hips and shoulders up. Nice. Go ahead and gaze over the front middle finger. Really spread and reach through the fingertips and relax the shoulders. Inhale, press into the feet, straighten the front leg and bring the fingertips to touch overhead. And then work with the breath here. Exhale, come back into warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the leg, fingertips to touch. Exhale, warrior 2. One more time, press through the feet, straighten through the legs, spread the fingertips, bring them to touch. Exhale, warrior 2. So in warrior 2, we're really strong through our foundation, strong through the feet. We're working on staying light in the upper body. We'll revolve our warrior. So inhale, flip the front palm, stay low in your front knee, and reverse your warrior. Keep reaching those left fingertips, nice side body stretch. Exhale, float into side angle. The left elbow is right to the top of the left knee, real lightly though, and the right arm can reach up towards the ceiling. Press through the feet, come back to your warrior two. We'll set up for a triangle pose. So press into the front foot, straighten the front leg. And let's revolve from here if you'd like. So inhale, this left arm and hand reaching up and back. And then stay really long through the arms. Reach the left hand as far forward as it can go. And then gently bring it to a block or the left shin. And then reach the right arm towards the ceiling. So depending how your knees are, it's definitely okay to have a soft bend through the knees. And last time, come on back to warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm and revolve. Exhale, bring the hands down to the inside of the left foot. Walk this left foot out towards the left edge of the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot and we'll set up for deepest lunge. So both hands are on the inside of the left foot. You can stay here if this stretch feels good, or go ahead and drop that right knee to the ground. For a deeper stretch, come down to your forearms. Keep hugging this left knee into your left shoulder. And from here, feel free to relax through the head and neck. Any other variation you'd like to take of this? So on this side, we would turn the left foot out to about 10 o'clock. Come onto the pinky edge side of the left foot so you can actually see the sole of the left foot. Left hand gently to the left inner thigh. And as you exhale, feel yourself relax into the hips a bit. Option to bend that back knee, try reaching for the ankle, see what that feels like. And let's go ahead, creep this left foot back right between the two hands. Tuck these back toes under. We will press up to a high plank. So for high plank, we want the shoulders right over the wrists. The fingertips are spread nice and wide. Backs of our thighs are lifting up towards the ceiling. We're pressing the earth away from us, so hug the belly button in towards the spine. And then as you exhale, drop your knees down to the mat. And then relax the hips down as well. Untuck the toes. And so check them out. They should be maybe, let's do like 10 inches apart. Bend the elbows. And this is kind of just like a flowy variation of upward facing dog. So look over the shoulder from side to side, roll the hips out a bit. And from here, we'll take a Sphinx pose. So come down to your forearms. Bring the toes almost to touch. And the elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Fingertips spread nice and wide. And let the heart open up, relax the shoulders. We'll take 2 breaths. And then exhale. We will come and set up for locust pose. So bring the arms by your side with your palms face down. If it feels okay, bring the big toes to touch. We're going to hug everything in towards our center line. So when you come into locust pose, you want to protect the neck. So just gaze a couple inches in front of you. So as you inhale, we want to lift through the hands and feet in the chest, if that feels okay. If there's any tension in the low back, drop the feet to the floor. And let the heart open, so we're just gazing a couple inches in front of us. Spread your fingertips nice and wide, spread the toes. And exhale, lower down, maybe you rest your cheek on the mat. Let's do that again. So set up for locust pose, bring the big toes to touch, squeeze everything in towards the center line, press into the hips, and as you inhale, start to peel things up off the mat. And then depending how this practice is for you, see if you can lift just a bit higher and keep a nice steady breath going. For 3, 2, and 1, release, let it go, lower down. Bring the arms out wide, almost so you're in a T position, and bend the knees and just let the kind of windshield wiper the feet here. Awesome. Lower the feet back down to the floor. We'll press into an upward facing dog. So we're onto the tops of our feet, the knees are down on the mat, soft little bend through the elbows. And then let's press back to downward facing dog. Tuck those toes under, lift the hips up nice and high. Have a really big bend through the knees in this downward facing dog. And we're going to jump our way forward so we can be sitting down. So go ahead and gaze up at the fingertips, nice big bend in the knees, and then hop forward and lower down. Awesome. Okay. I hope you guys are all doing good. Let's come into a seated forward fold. So we're sitting up nice and tall. So the legs are just right out in front of you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Get some nice length through the spine. And as you exhale, let the heart lead the way as you fold and reach for the toes. So lots of time there can be rushing in forward folds. They can feel really great. So feel free to take your time. Let the head relax. And we'll come into a seated tree. So you can leave the left leg nice and long. Bend this right knee. Bring the sole of the right foot right into the left thigh. And then again, use your inhale to lengthen out, reach. And exhale, go ahead and let the heart lead the way as you reach for the left toes. So bring the upper body back up and keeping the legs in a seated tree. I'm going to try and explain this. So bring the right hand maybe a foot away from the right thigh. We're going to roll onto our left foot and the right knee. And we're going to press our hips forward. Let the right hand be on the ground and let this left arm kind of reach up and back. And again, a couple nice deep breaths here. If the neck is okay, you can let it fall back. If there's any neck issues, keep the chin tucked in towards the chest. Spread those left fingertips. Take another breath in. And exhale, lower yourself back down. Nice. Okay, seated tree on the other side. So kick the right foot out, bend the left knee. Bring the sole of the foot right into that right thigh. Awesome. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach for the right toes. Gently lift the upper body back up. Keep the legs as they are. The left hand is maybe, bring it about a foot away from the left thigh. I'm gonna ground the right foot down, roll onto the left knee. Press the hips forward and let this right arm drop up and back. So adjust yourself so that you feel comfortable and supported and that you've got some nice weight evenly distributed in the left hand and the left knee. And a bit in this right foot. So the heart's opening up, let the head and neck relax if it feels okay. And as you exhale, drop yourself back down. We'll bring the soles of the feet together to touch. For Baddha Konasana. So you get to decide how you want to do this pose. So I always like bringing my elbows a bit to my inner thighs, and I kind of press them a bit in to the thighs to get a bit of a deeper stretch through the hips. And I start to lean my upper body forward. And of course, breathe. Awesome, bring yourself back up and let's lower down onto our backs. From here, we're gonna come into waterfall pose. So waterfall pose is just feet straight up towards the ceiling. I like using a block and putting it under my low back. So I always bend my knees, feet on the floor, lift the hips up, slide that block under the low back. Get it in a comfortable spot, and then feet right up towards the ceiling. And from here, you're welcome to take any leg variations. Gently start to bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor. If you have a block at the low back, gently remove that. And we'll come into happy baby. I love this pose. So hug the knees into your shoulders and reach for the outer edges for the soles of the feet. And we want to keep our low back and the back of our head down on the ground. The spine is lengthening on the mat. And if this doesn't feel okay, you can always do a half happy baby. So just doing it one leg at a time. And release the feet. We'll come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet come together on the mat. The knees are spread out wide. For a count of 5, let's take a Nice deep inhale through the nose. So challenge yourself, let it last long, nice and slow. And open the mouth longer, exhale out. Keep the knees bent, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And walk the feet out to the edges of your mat and let the knees fall in towards one another. So the knees support one another as they fall up against each other. And then walk the feet in so the feet are right underneath the knees. Bend the right knee and bring the right ankle to the left thigh. We'll come into a reclined pigeon pose. So this stretch may feel like enough, and that is lovely, or you can press the left thigh towards you and interlace the hands right at the left hamstring. So you're kind of pulling this left thigh towards the face, and you should feel a stretch through your right glute. When you feel ready, you can go ahead and switch your sides. All right, find your way out of your pigeon pose. And we'll come into our final resting pose. So we, if you want any layers, go ahead and grab them, because Shavasana, we just want as least distractions as possible. So go ahead and wherever feels comfortable, lay on your mat. And go ahead and close the eyes down and bring the hands to wherever they feel comfortable. So they could feel comfortable on the heart and the belly, or maybe they feel great just with palms face up out at your sides. We'll be here for about 2 or 3 minutes. And so during this time, really allow yourself to just melt into the mat. So release any tension, release any worry. Find your natural rhythm of breath. And ever so gently and slowly start moving through the fingers and the toes. And maybe you rock your neck from side to side. And take another full deep breath in. And then as you exhale, almost like you're fogging a mirror, let the breath slowly empty out. And gently hug the knees into the chest. Maybe wrap the arms around the shins, press the low back into the mat. And then rock from front to back, and we'll find our way up into a seated position. Sitting nice and cross-legged. And we'll finish the same way we started with a nice big stretch. So go ahead and sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Press the palms together. Exhale, bring the hands to the center of your heart. You can keep your eyes closed here. And while you're here, just say something that you're grateful for, and then follow it up with something loving about yourself. And on the next exhale, gently release the hands. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining and practicing. I hope the audio was good and everything worked out. I see hands flying in the air. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be teaching tomorrow at 6:30. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there, and thank you so much for joining. Have a great night.